This is DJ Rubbish on the ones and twos. And I just come here to let y'all know it's about to get real filthy in this mother.
So I can't look at your computer at all. That's the rule.
You cannot look at my computer. Yeah, that's not the rule. Oh no, you're good. And then you'll want the mic to be like right around like here.
Right here.
Yeah. I mean, you had it down like at the carpet, so I just wanted to,
you know, just getting ready.
Welcome to episode 71 of In Todd We Trust, Quarantine Edition. We'll be reviewing movies that are accessible on streaming platforms. This movie today is actually on HBO Max now. It used to be Go, but HBO Max. You can head to ITWTpodcast.com to review or to see spoiler-free one sentence reviews. Wow, I can't talk today. Episode descriptions, song of the week playlist, movie soundtrack playlist, submission form to be a guest on the show, and listen and watch the podcast every Thursday on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. Today's guest, Lillian, is on here today. What?
Unacceptable.
Yeah, she goes by Lily. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's a shocker that her full name is Lillian. I guess it is. Sorry, we'll just call her Lily.
Not that we're making a thing of it or anything.
Yeah. No big deal. Confession time, real quick. I actually reached out to Daisy first to be a guest on the show.
Not true.
She was not available. So then reached out to you. So I appreciate you
when she hears
making some time to come on. Lily is actually a member at OTF. And one time you brought your sister Daisy to class, and I used that as a motivation tool to compare them the whole class. So I'm just poking at Lily today.
It was effective.
Yeah. It was good.
And
I didn't even know at the time, and then now I find out after that you both play basketball and competitive. So I didn't know you were that competitive at the time. Yeah. Lily is a former UCSD basketball standout.
All-star. Take it that far.
So found this, I did some research. First woman in school history to get at least one dunk in every career game. So that is really cool. So would you like to talk on your career at all or no?
Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned this because you guys, Todd, did not know this until now, but I actually never suited up for a game.
Wow. No, never?
I got injured before that fun stuff started.
Wow.
So, yeah. So Todd didn't do his research.
I guess not. No,
I really
my sources are
appreciate
wrong.
the high praise.
My sources are wrong here. If you hear me chewing, just ignore. Lily has a charcuterie board out here, so definitely the best prep I've ever had for a guest or a podcast studio, for that matter. We're in her living room today. So I also read all in your bio. In the actual research, saw some interesting things here, which is actually contrary to what I'm seeing at your apartment right now.
Okay.
Your bio said that Dwight Howard was your favorite player in 2010.
I thought he was so cute, so that's why. It's literally why I said that.
Wow. Okay.
I was like 18 when I wrote that. Coming into college, they asked me who my favorite player was, and I went with the cutest player.
Wow. Okay. See, I thought it was. Wait a second here. I thought it was odd that you said he was your favorite player because of his skill level, but to now find out that you thought he was the cutest player,
I did.
Might even be more shocking than thinking that he was the best player.
It was a different time.
Different time. Yeah.
I don't know what to say about it really.
2010 was a scary year. Okay. And it was the year. Okay. Now, also background too. Lily has a ton of Kobe stuff in her apartment right now, right? She has like a Kobe shrine going on in the living room.
That's my real favorite. And he always has been. Kobe, I'm sorry that I betrayed you on the bio.
And the year that he won the championship.
I must have been having a stroke. I don't really know what I was doing.
I don't know what happened there. It also said that you like to bake and sing in your free time. So part of me honestly was expecting cinnamon rolls or cookies when I got here today. You do have a charcuterie board. And would you like to give the listeners a song selection?
No, thank you.
No, okay, all right. I just want to ask.
Really appreciate it.
No problem. I just want to put it out there. No pressure.
Yeah, no. That's like I sing in the car, maybe in the shower, like alone. But I'm not really a performer.
It's all good. Just wanted to check. Just wanted to give you that opportunity.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. We want to make our guests feel comfortable here on the show.
I need to look at this bio.
Yeah.
This is
That bio, I was like,
Yeah,
man,
misrepresenting me.
I'm learning a lot here. I wanted to share a story of how I came encounter with an encounter with an OTF Karen for the first time the other day.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, so
Was it me?
it was not you.
Okay.
No, it wasn't you. Don't worry. We're done poking fun at you for the day. I promise.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, or at least for that intro portion.
Okay.
So I'm at the studio the other day, and pretty much every member has been pretty cool about the different changes we made because of COVID. Obviously, we're not the only business. All businesses are kind of adapting to it with the masks. Some are doing temperature checks, all that stuff. So obviously, when you come to the studio, you get a temperature check. We ask you if you've been in contact with anyone with COVID, if you have COVID, and we ask you to keep a mask on when you're making transitions, things like that. Anyway, this lady comes up. She's good with everything except for the temperature check. She goes, first time to Torrance Theory, she's like, oh no, I'm not getting my temperature check. I understand if it's a policy thing, but it's just against my constitutional rights. I've already talked to my lawyer about it. If you are, yeah, just rant.
What do
Goes
you
up.
mean?
I was like, what? I was like, man, this isn't Orange Theory. But she's like, it's against my constitutional rights. Like, if you have to do it, like, I get it, but like, I will not take the class. I just think this whole Corona thing is ridiculous.
Oh
and
boy.
She's one of those. So
Okay.
now I've seen anti-maskers, which is, it become like a thing now, where
Yeah.
that's just like shorthand and just like a household term now. But anyway, I've seen that and I understand that. I am not one of them, but I can see if you're like, hey, I'm not going to like work out because I don't want to have the mask on like the entire class. Like when we had that portion of time where you had to wear the mask the entire class.
Mm-hmm.
Understand they say, hey, I'm going to go home because this is uncomfortable.
Okay.
I get it. Cool, whatever. Go home, do what you got to do. Teach his own. The temperature thing was odd for me though.
Well, it's not like you guys just hold a little thing up to our foreheads, right?
Literally,
So
we hold a little gun up to your. Now, obviously that sounds threatening, but
yeah, that was a
I shouldn't have said gun.
forward
I shouldn't have said gun, but it literally looks like this little like laser beam that goes to your head. It doesn't touch you at all. The beam touches you. It takes. All of I did 4 seconds maybe max.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's probably less than that. Pick 2 seconds, and then we say, all right, good, you're good to go. She said that's where she drew the line.
Oh my god.
So I think that the odd thing for me was just like that was an odd place to draw the line.
Yeah.
Like usually it's the mask, or if you're like, hey, I don't feel like cleaning up after my equipment, like you should clean up.
Say that?
No one's ever said that. But I'm just
Okay.
like, all those things would have been more rational than that. Like that was the most painless thing to do.
Yeah, that's weird.
So super odd. But yeah, just had to share that, get that off my chest.
Maybe she has a reason. Like maybe there's
Her constitutional rights.
Well, that's wild that she talked to her lawyer. You think she really did that, or you think that was just like a threat?
She wasn't even saying. You know what's funny? Super nice lady. So
Okay.
after that moment, super nice. Whole rest of the class, very friendly.
She
cool.
took the class.
She took the class.
No temperature check.
No temperature check. I should not
Wow.
say that. I let her get away
Oh
with it.
my bad.
I didn't feel like I did whatever. But I just was like, all right, like you're good, like whatever. Like I just wanted to be like, man, I do not care. Like just sit down and like let's go through this class. So you're not gonna come back after
That's
this
good.
anyway. So I can
That's
already
really
tell.
good.
So
Good
anyway.
rule enforcer.
Yeah, right?
Good job.
I did not do my job effectively. But anyway, so I was just like, all right, like, whatever. All right, we're just gonna have you sit down. So went through everything. She took the class, very friendly the whole time. So it was, I think she probably did I think she seemed like the type that's like, you wasted your time to talk to your lawyer or whatever. And
probably paid, right?
and probably, whatever his hourly
It's
fee
not
was.
free advice.
Yeah. Oh, easiest money he made that week. So just a very odd thing to research. But anyway, I had to get that off.
That's amazing.
I'm looking forward to going home next week. So I am going back home to Michigan. So if you're listening to this and you're in Michigan, I can't guarantee that I'm going to see you, but just know I'm there. Yeah. So if I don't see you, I don't like you. So I'm just throwing it out there.
Okay.
Surfing update. So I did not go surfing this week. So no real update, but I do promise a surfing update every single week since I restarted the podcast.
Have you ever?
I have.
One?
So the week
Okay.
prior, I had an actual update.
Got it. So it's not just like surfing update, no update.
Yeah.
Every time.
That's what it's been most of the time. So like this is like the fifth surfing
Impressive.
update. Only one of them had an actual real update.
God.
I don't have a wetsuit, so until I get a wetsuit, I'm not going back out there. I was very cold last time, so that is the reason. But I'm literally one wetsuit away from being a goat. So Just throwing it out there. That's literally all I need is one wetsuit.
That's good confidence.
So,
really good
yeah.
confidence right there.
Yeah, so I just feel it. Sometimes you just know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just know. So
Okay.
as soon as I get that wetsuit, I mean, you'll be hearing about me for sure. So,
Wow.
song of the week. What's your song of the week?
Oh, it's Body Language, Big Sean.
Oh, gotcha. Nice. Are you a big Sean fan? No?
I mean,
Just like that song?
sometimes, but
Yeah.
like, I don't seek out his music. I know you just released an album,
Right.
but I wasn't like, oh my god, I have to listen to the whole thing.
Sure, yeah.
I just heard the song and I was like, that's a banger.
Yeah.
I like it.
I feel you. I thought about a Big Sean song this week.
Interesting.
But I did not go with Big. I do like some of the songs on the album. I used to be a huge Big Sean fan in like high school, and then like since then he's been putting out like a lot of subpar stuff.
Okay.
So then I kind of fell off and wasn't expecting much from this project, and it was okay, decent. Again, if you're listening to me and you live in Detroit, don't get on my back about it. Don't get on my back, like it's whatever. The first Detroit album was actually, I really love that one. This one, decent. My song of the week is Unkind by Casey Hill. I love this whole album that she came out with a couple weeks ago. It's a really good album to, like, it's very chill, so it's a really good like nighttime album or just like cleaning around the house, that type of vibe. I played it. So the last class I coached over at UTC you were in, that's what I had during our like cool down time. Not that you like remember like, oh, I remember what you played. Like
I did not remember it.
Yeah, it's definitely not something where you again, that's why I played it in the cool down. Like it's not something where you're like, it's not
I will
banger.
say there are times when I do remember those songs.
Okay,
so
well,
this is
all right, forget you
indicative
then. Yeah, no.
of your taste. It's
Okay,
a
or
little
your
bit
taste.
questionable.
Or your taste. I don't know. I don't know, Lily. All right, favorite part of the podcast, random rapid fire. We have 8 questions that you have no prep for.
Okay.
Are you ready to rock and
I'm
roll?
so ready.
Let's do it. Have you ever played basketball under the influence?
No. Yes. Yes, I have. But okay.
Was it pickup or?
No.
No, it was
wow, this is gonna get serious.
Wow, okay.
Alright, so I mentioned earlier, I've not talked about this publicly. This is everyone, you're welcome.
Man.
Hopefully it doesn't
A
get
Lily
awkward.
exclusive, okay,
yeah. So I had this like crazy injury
Okay.
my freshman year of college, and it took a really long time to figure out like what was going on.
Yeah.
And so with that, there's like a lot of misdiagnoses that
Sure.
occur and like treatments or prescriptions, whatever.
Right.
And then eventually you get to the point of like, all right, pain management.
Yeah.
So narcotics.
Got it.
So I was prescribed like a lot of Vicodin to take for pain management, and
You're up
I
your
would
message.
be practicing, and like I would think like the basket's moving, like that's weird, you know, or like
Yeah.
the lines on the court are kind of like wavy, not really straight. So yes, I have played under the influence technically, but not like electively.
Not okay, yeah. So you weren't like
Yeah.
getting you weren't taking shots before games or
So
anything.
much less fun answer than I think you probably were going
Yeah.
for.
Yeah. I figured it was probably gonna be more that route. But,
More like, oh, I was drunk and then I played.
Yeah, okay,
No.
good. I'm glad that you didn't though. I'm glad you didn't. I would have judged you.
Oh, that's good.
Have you ever physically fought a teammate?
No.
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 Thought about it?
Yes.
Yeah, a couple of times, obviously.
You
We
know,
all have. We
you
all
just
have.
get passionate, but
Absolutely.
no, it's never
happened.
that serious.
Okay, all right, good. What's your career high for points in a game?
56.
Whoa, high school?
High school.
That is, oh, well, right, you got
Obviously,
injured,
high school, yeah. Come
Yeah.
on.
56.
I basically did not play college basketball.
Yeah. 56,
So,
that's
yeah,
nuts.
56.
What?
It was a club game.
Man.
It was fun.
Do we have highlights from that? Was
You
anyone
know,
on the camera?
it probably would be on like a cassette tape
gotta
because
get
that
that
was
footage.
a while ago. But you know, we'll do some digging.
Oh
We'll
my
see if we
God,
can,
Dwight Howard would be proud. That is nuts. Oh my
I
goodness.
don't want to make him proud.
Yeah.
Just so everyone knows. I'm over him.
And now he's a Laker. We got to get you a jersey.
Well, I got over him when he came to the Lakers the first
The fir-
time
oh, yeah.
because that was a
Is this sort
flop.
okay? What about this redemption tour?
Eh,
Eh, okay,
it's
all
like,
right.
I'm happy for him, but I
Yeah,
don't
whatever.
care.
Yeah, you're over it. All right. What professional player would you most want to play alongside?
Kobe.
Okay.
No follow-up.
No follow up. R.I.P. Kobe though.
Yeah.
That is very tragic. We were chatting before the podcast. I did not grow up a Kobe fan. I definitely a fan of his talent and love watching him play.
But also a hater.
But didn't like him.
Level 10.
I admittedly, I wouldn't say I was a hater. It just
think
wasn't
so.
my cup of tea. You know, he wasn't my cup of tea.
Right, that makes no sense.
But admittedly kind of fell into the trap that the media laid for us, where you felt like you had to pit him versus LeBron, even though they didn't have any personal beef. It made us feel like we had to, and whatever. And LeBron's the GOAT. But
Wow.
what's your favorite way to celebrate a win?
Oh.
Besides
well,
back
it's been, oh my
Yeah.
God. Well, now that's hard to answer. No, I used to go to In-N-Out with my friends in high school
Nice.
after, and we would just eat and talk about the game.
That's nice.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could have gone to any other school for basketball, where would it be?
Oh, that's really hard. Okay, so another little
Lilly?
I don't know what to call this. Yeah, maybe a Lillyism. I verbaled to Harvard
Oh.
and then decommitted, and because I like freaked out because it was far away and cold and
Yeah.
whatever.
So you're a genius.
sometimes I'm
You're
not.
a
No.
genius.
It was basketball all the way for sure. Like I had to
Oh,
take
no.
the SAT a couple times
Okay, all right.
to get in
But still-
through basketball.
But still,
but
yeah.
thank you,
That's
I guess.
impressive,
But yeah, so like a few times I've wondered, oh, what would it have been like if I went to Harvard instead? But I wouldn't say like I would have rather gone there or I wish I could have gone there. I can't really answer this question.
Also,
I feel
FYI,
like-
Lily still has the acceptance letter on her table right here in the living room. So
Actually, I post it on my front door so that everyone can see it at all times.
that's great.
No, yeah, but I think like everything happens the way it's supposed to, so I'm glad.
Agreed. Yeah.
Glad I went to UCSD.
Nice. Yeah, it's beautiful here. I mean, you can't go wrong. I love it. Like we were chatting before, I love their track, which is just an odd thing to really
It's
point
really
out.
weird.
But
I,
their
like,
track is
hated that you
amazing.
said
I
that.
love
I'm
their
like,
track.
what?
It's 10 lanes. It's an amazing track. What's your favorite slushy flavor?
Oh, I used to get the Coca-Cola flavor
Yeah.
with like a little bit of cherry on top.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, Coca-Cola cherries are good. That's a good flavor.
Yeah, I feel like I don't like this standoffish response.
The
That was
reaction?
the ultimate combination.
Is it?
What's yours?
You know, if you liked it, I like
It's
it for
phenomenal.
you. If you like it, I like it for you. You know, mine is definitely blueberry and red. Mix those two.
Okay,
So
sounds
the
terrible.
only way to do it. If you had to rewatch the same movie for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh my god, that's so hard because I'm not really. I'm on a movie podcast right now, but I'm not
Yeah.
really like a movie person. I prefer shows.
Got you. Okay.
But when I was little, my parents used to take my sister and I to Blockbuster, like
Oh, I used to love that, yeah.
not every weekend, but like often
Yeah.
on the weekends, and we would get to pick, like each of us could
My
pick
dad
one
would
movie.
do that too. He'd take
Yeah.
me and my sister, and we get to pick one. I either get to pick a movie or a video game.
Okay, yes, and I would always pick the same movie, and it's so funny because I would pick Grease, and like
Really?
I hate musicals now. Like I don't
Well,
like.
that's not what your Bible says.
I don't like
Your Bible
it.
says you like singing.
I know I've changed a lot. I feel
Yeah,
like I don't
clearly.
know if we would call this evolving or devolving. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. Hopefully evolving.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I used to love Grease and I used to love musicals before I started playing basketball.
Really?
Yeah, and then I just
So kind of a
changed.
High School Musical type of deal. So you
I've never seen any of those.
what?
So
Oh,
I
so you
don't
didn't even get the
know.
reference. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow,
I
that
don't
hurts
know what
me.
you're talking about at
That
all.
hurts me
but
so much.
sure.
How did you not see even the first one? How did you know that was a moment?
I don't like musicals.
Oh my
I
goodness.
had grown out of that
Yeah,
phase.
you're already. Oh
I was
man.
like, oh, I don't. This is like not even real basketball, probably.
I mean, no, it
I
definitely
don't think I want to watch this.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let's get into the movie here.
Okay.
IMDb description for The Way Back was Jack Cunningham was a high school basketball phenom who walked similar to Lily, who walked away from the game, forfeiting his future. Years later, when he reluctantly accepts a coaching job at his alma mater, he may get one last shot at redemption. Also, I need to throw out there, I need to get glasses because that was very tough to see.
Oh.
Yeah, my vision is
Have
fading.
you been checked?
I haven't. I'm very reluctant to do so. I'm just being really stubborn because I don't want to believe that I have to have glasses. So I'm trying to force myself to believe like, oh no, like my eyes just like blurry, like it's the smoke outside.
my
Yeah, I
God.
know. It's tough.
Definitely the fires.
Yeah, I'm just blaming on the fire. Everything is on the fires.
That's so funny. Well,
release
maybe you
date?
should zoom in.
No, I refuse to. I
Okay.
refuse to get in. So I'll just squint. Release date for this movie was March 6th of this year. Notable cast: Ben Affleck, obviously, Michaela Watkins, and Janina Gavankar. Again, that was very tough to read. I maybe do need to bring this font up. Director was Gavin O'Connor, who also did The Accountant, another Ben Affleck movie, and Jane's Got a Gun. Writer for this movie was Brad Inglesby, whatever it is. Run All Night is the only other notable movie that he's done, which was a Liam Neeson movie. I don't know if you've seen it. I saw it a while ago.
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to catch these references.
Yeah.
I like movies, but it's just more of like a special occasion.
No, I get it. No, I feel like a lot of people, honestly, a lot of guests I have on here aren't huge movie people.
Perfect.
So yeah, you're good.
Fitting right in.
You're good. You're perfect. Runtime for this movie, 1 hour and 48 minutes. So before you saw the movie, when I asked you, hey, do you want to watch this movie? What were your thoughts like when you looked it up before you even started?
Okay, so I didn't even have to look it up because I had heard about it.
You had, okay.
Yes.
And I know you really like documentaries. You're really onto that. What was that Netflix documentary?
Are you kidding?
That?
Okay, everyone, I suggested that we cover Shut Up and Dribble. It's a docu-series. You should all watch it. It's phenomenal. Yeah. Todd should watch it.
Who produces that?
I want to say it's LeBron's production company, so I think Spring Hill Entertainment.
Go ahead.
Okay. Anyways, what was the question?
Yeah. I just said that you really want to do a doc. I was asking what you thought prior to seeing this movie.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I saw I don't know if I saw a commercial for it or what, but I saw something about it, and I knew it was this kind of typical story of the washed up guy who comes back to his home team or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that might be fun to watch with my mom. So I told her hey, let's watch this movie together. And then we watched the trailer, and I was like, no thanks.
Yeah.
No offense, Ben Affleck or anyone else involved, but I just felt this seems kind of depressing, and I don't think I'm gonna like it. So we never watched, and then you asked, and I was like, well, maybe this is fate. Maybe I should see what this is all about.
Yeah.
So
I think the reason I asked is because, obviously because of basketball. Obviously, yeah, that was definitely the biggest reason. And I actually meant to review this right before COVID. No. So I had plans to review this with one of my friends before COVID. And
sorry that I took your friend's spot.
No,
you're good. I apologize.
He'll understand. He'll understand.
No beef.
Shout out to Andy. He was actually out. He actually has a job that's in Michigan. He was out here for 8 months.
Oh wow!
And then they brought him back because of COVID, so they cut his stint short a bit. But
that sucks.
We were gonna review it.
Had great bonding time.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get a chance to see him. Missed him. He actually toured my apartment for me because I didn't get to see him before I moved out here. And then I moved out, and then he had to move back. So I never saw him. So crazy time. But anyway, yes, that obviously the basketball deal. When I saw the preview, I think very similar. I was like, okay, this is about to be very typical, very depressing. But we have to. I try to cover movies regardless of kind of how I go into, especially if they're big movies. Now, not just everything. I'm not just scouring Netflix for just anything that's on there. But ones that were big releases or with big actors and stuff, try to cover it. So this was one that I missed, and I was like, okay, cool. I saw it was on HBO Max recently, and I was like, let's do it. So that was kind of my mindset. Again, I don't think there's anything in it that was too shocking compared to what I was thinking prior. One of those films that just is very typical. Again, the washed up player that comes back. It's just very basic. I feel like Ben Affleck, he didn't write it, but I would have not been shocked if I looked and he wrote and directed it himself. It's kind of what the vibe.
What does that mean?
It means that I don't necessarily think that it takes a lot of skill to execute the movie that we watched.
Shots fired.
So yeah, no love lost, Ben. Not that we know each other, that you're gonna hear this. It was set in Ontario, California. Did you know that? Could you tell where it was set when you were watching?
I couldn't tell. I was trying to figure it out, and I was thinking, this seems is it LA? I don't know. Right. They're at the beach, but this doesn't feel like LA. And then I saw the CIF banner, and I was like, so it should be LA, but it's not. I don't know.
Chaffee High School. Have you ever heard of that high school prior? Mm-hmm. No, you hadn't heard of it. It's just a little bit. I literally looked it up on a map. I'm not saying this I just know where it's
Is that
at.
where it was filmed, or
That's where it was filmed.
Okay, but that's in the movie. It wasn't called that.
No, it was called something else. Yeah, it was a Catholic school in the movie.
I was that sounds not familiar at all.
No. I looked it up after the film was over. Chaffee High School, which is just a little bit east of LA. So almost looks like an LA suburb, like where it's at on the map. Like again, not very far, but
Gotcha.
but yeah. So I didn't know if you had heard of it. What part of LA did you grow up in?
Santa Monica for the most part.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if like you had like visions of like dropping like whatever 50 in this gym or not.
Oh no,
if they were
no,
victims
no.
of you before or no. Yeah, no, I feel like I saw this initially when we turned the movie on. I was like, man, Ben is getting like one. I know that he was meant to look like out of sorts and kind of disheveled in the movie, but he is getting old. Like Ben is getting old, man. Like he looked kind of out of shape.
Oh my God.
And I recently saw pictures of him with like his much younger girlfriend, and he also looked like not great.
Well, that's hard because the juxtaposition between the two. It's
Yeah.
What can he do?
Yeah,
You can't hold that against him.
Yeah, that is true. And I mean, he's human, so he's gonna go. Someone else who's getting old too.
Oh my God.
Is
Everybody be careful.
Yeah, just dissing all the celebrities. Why am I blanking on his name? Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Brad Pitt is looking a little old. I saw a picture of him recently, and it's like, I mean, I like Brad Pitt a lot too, but it's like some of these guys are aging. Like,
well, I mean, that's what happens, right? Like you live life, you get
I
a
mean,
little bit older.
but like some guys don't like Pharrell. Pharrell looks amazing.
Well, yeah, but
right?
that is like an anomaly.
That's true. Yeah, he's
you
one.
can't compare him to anybody.
Okay, fine. All right, fine. So we'll give him a pass. Yeah, but no, it seemed like a pretty typical story. I feel like I know guys who fall into this category.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, not to start naming people, but like,
who are they?
Yeah. This is the loser
Are they
from my
okay?
high school. Yeah. But no, definitely guys who just not necessarily drug addiction, some drug and alcohol addiction, but where they kind of fall into this like spiral of depression, or maybe not even depression, but just kind of get stuck at a certain stage in their life. And stay at home and go to what's comfortable, and you just kind of see it. It's like they look back and it's almost like, man, I haven't really done anything that I was planning to do with my life. So I feel like it's really relatable, not in a personal sense, but just like, again, secondhand.
Well, the transition is like so hard.
Yeah.
From like being a competitive athlete to not anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
That's not to be underestimated, I don't think.
That's true. That's very fair, and especially like someone of like he and your stature, like that has to be difficult going from high school. Yeah, we're just gonna throw that in there. But no, going from being like whatever the best player in the CIF for whatever it was like 4 years straight.
Yeah.
Like I'm like that has to be very difficult. Full ride to whatever Kansas and yeah. So what other offers did you have outside of Harvard and UCSD?
I had a few.
Yeah.
I had a couple Pac-12 offers, but most of my offers were like smaller D1 programs.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what made you decide? Now, obviously, I get not going to Harvard, that's very far, but out of the Pac-12, obviously, still close to home.
Yeah, I think the best like academic schools that recruited me were Harvard and UC San Diego, and my parents were very, very vocal about the importance of education.
Got it.
Which is important, so I'm grateful for that. But also, my sister played at UCSD too. I don't know if you knew that.
I did, yeah.
So it was kind of like, I could go play with my sister. When we were growing up, our dad used to take us to UCLA basketball games, all of the home games for the men's and women's teams. We would go for years, and I don't even know their names, but there were these girls that played on Washington's team. I don't know if they were twins or not. I almost said twins, but I don't know, so I'm not gonna make things up. But they were sisters, and they were on the same team, and they had matching tattoos, and I just assumed they were best friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, this is my dream. It's so cute.
Right.
So that definitely was a factor. I was like, oh, I could follow Daisy here, and then we can play together, and it'll be amazing. Yeah. And so that's kind of what happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for you, but I was curious what offers you had. In this movie, I think one of the plus sides too, going back to being in your hometown, one of the plus sides of me not living in my hometown is I'm very happy that I don't have to accidentally bump into people who I don't want to see from high school. There's some people who I do miss, so I'm like, oh, I would be good to see them, friends I had back home, but I would hate to just there's a scene here where the guy that the ref who cussed out. Who,
It seemed like they were friends.
They were cool, right?
Yeah.
But I thought about as soon as I saw that, I thought about man, I would hate to go into the Kroger down the street from my house and then running into. Do you know what Kroger is?
I do because I used to live in Indiana.
Oh, that's right. There you go. I said it and I was like, wait a second, that's Ralph's out here.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, so like I would hate to like run into like the Kroger by my high school and like consistently see people from high school. And be like, oh hey, how have you been? Like, you know, catching up.
You feel like that's awkward.
And not even awkward as much as just like I don't feel like talking to you. If that's that
Standoffish.
Yeah.
God is not approachable. God
Yeah,
is.
I am. I think I'm approachable. In class, I'm approachable, right?
Well, you have to be. Are
Yeah.
you kidding?
Exactly. Yeah. It is. I mean, it's honestly it's a performance. Like Orange Theory is like.
So yeah, this is not the real Todd.
It is the real me.
This is the
This
best,
is the part of me.
the ultimate best version of you that you could possibly make yourself enact for an hour, and then you're just so tired and you have to be yourself.
Yeah, it's just a different side of me. How about
Okay.
that? Yeah. So
Okay.
so I think control my environment, I guess. So,
Got it.
But yeah, I wasn't expecting many twists and turns with this movie. I feel like it wasn't. I mean, early on, I knew that it was going to be like a tough watch at certain points.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, just
You
because.
just went into it with negativity.
No, once we started, and like, I mean, when you start the movie and he like is drinking a
it's
beer
so
in the shower,
sad.
it's like, all right,
Oh my God, yeah.
like, you know, this is probably gonna be a rough one. Like, I knew it's
Yeah.
gonna be like, I knew it was gonna be some type of deal where it's like redemption, hit rock bottom. What this one didn't do was like the full redemption, where like, you know, a typical movie where he'd
It's
have like.
okay at the end.
Yeah, where like the end, like obviously, he got help at the end, which, thank God that was kind of like the ending there. But in a typical movie, he gets help, and then they say like, we're gonna bring you back for the championship game.
Right, and then they win.
And then they win, which isn't realistic. Like, no,
Yeah.
if you come to practice drunk at a Catholic school, like, no, you're not coming back to coach just because
Right.
you're gonna feel better in a month. Like,
Right.
that's not realistic. So I do appreciate that this one I felt like stayed kind
Do
of.
you feel like it was like you're satisfied with the ending?
I wouldn't say
I'm
satisfied.
jumping ahead.
Yeah, no, you're not jumping ahead.
Keep
We
me
can
in
bounce
line.
around. No, I feel like it was for what it was. Sure, I was satisfied with the ending. Like, do I think it was an
Really?
amazing movie? No. Do I think that like that fit for how the movie was? And again, I'll go into more of like the ending and
Yeah.
like how I felt about the movie as a whole here in a little bit. But like, yeah,
Okay.
I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the ending.
Okay.
What was the toughest part for you to watch in this movie?
The toughest part to
Yeah.
watch. Wow. I don't know if there's like a single. Actually, the hospital scene was kind of hard for me.
Oh, yeah. Wait,
this is
longer, son.
Deep dive into
Yeah.
my personal history.
Man,
Yeah. So.
this is a therapy session is just
This
as much as
really
a podcast.
is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. So I lost my dad like a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
Nobody
Sorry
get
to hear that.
depressed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It is. Yeah. I mean, now.
Yeah, it sucks obviously.
Yeah,
but like
very much.
he was really sick for like 5 years before he passed away, and so my mom, sister, and I have had a lot of moments in a hospital. Like, it's obviously different because he wasn't our child, but it was kind of like a trigger. But it also just made me think, because it was so interesting to see like how, I don't want to say exaggerated, but like how external the reaction was when like that family got the news from the doctor.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't remember ever like being in the hospital and having anyone even around us like react so outwardly.
Really.
But it just made me think like, oh, I wonder like if people really do get that expressive with their emotions in the hospital. They probably do, but I just never experienced it. So initially I was like, that's not how it works, you know?
Yeah.
But maybe it is. I don't know. But that was hard. That scene was really hard.
Yeah, I think, I mean, to that point, I think it's just kind of everyone deals with it differently. Similar to like, I mean, even at like funerals, for instance, which is obviously different than, the actual news that you get in the hospital or whatever. Who knows what that news, I don't know if the news was saying that he wasn't coming out of the coma that he was in. I don't know what, they didn't really expound on that. There's a ton that they didn't expound on this movie. So I'm going to assume it was. But yeah, even like at a funeral, like everyone kind of reacts differently. Like some people completely break down, like, some of us just kind of just keep it all in or just are very stern. Some people are standoff. I don't know. It's different. But that's interesting, like, pick up. But yeah, it was even in that moment, like, and then he rushes off and like goes straight to the bar, which kind of led to the whole like downward spiral for the last like 20 minutes of the movie.
What was the hardest part for you?
The hardest part for me was like that. So from him going back to the bar and like drinking again, they never like explicitly said that he had stopped drinking, but it kind of like they stopped showing him drinking like after he like started getting a couple wins.
Right, and then one time when he like goes to the parking lot and then leaves.
And then leaves, yeah. You know it's bad when you pull up to the parking lot and the guy says, "Oh, I'll go ahead and get your spot ready." Like, dang, like he's getting you set up already with drinks like upon pulling into the parking lot. But
I was thinking about that because I was like, "Oh, that's so cute, that's so nice," and then I was like, "Wait, this is a bar."
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
different.
no, yeah, this is not your local family hood restaurant or anything like that.
Yeah.
That was yeah. So I think that the toughest part was like seeing that spiral from him drinking again to him breaking into the house, like going into the wrong house.
Really
that was rough, and then him like peeing like randomly.
And when they confronted him, and he was like, "Oh."
Yeah, they confront him. He tries to run out. He breaks the deck, falls on the street.
Yeah.
That whole sequence. I mean, going back, him walking in. Let's start with him walking into practice drunk. From that part
oh my God.
on, it was like cringe the whole time. So that was tough. I think that the main focus of the movie, I guess, was his addiction. Like, kind of his personal story.
For sure.
It really wasn't about the basketball team. It was and it wasn't.
I wouldn't say, like, his personal story was the main focus, though, because I feel like it was severely underdeveloped.
It was. Very much so.
Like, I get trying to, leave holes for us to fill, so it resonates with us, like, best, but I don't think they triggered enough.
No, I agree. I was gonna say, I feel like they didn't. I felt like I watched an episode of a show. Like, I feel like it was so much that they didn't like develop that it was like, oh, this is the start to like I'm gonna get 10 more episodes because like you all like hinted at a bunch of stuff and didn't develop it. Like, okay, cool. He's dealing with trauma from when he was a kid. They talk about it real quick in the car. Don't bring it up again.
Right.
Okay, you're dealing with the fact that he lost his kid. Okay, we have like 2 scenes where it's talked about. He's talking about with his wife. The other couple loses their son. They go to the cemetery. Not talked about again.
Right.
Or he talks about it again during therapy at the end. But again, very brief.
Not really. Like very generic. Like, oh, my son passed away and I'm sad.
Yeah, literally. They talk about his top player, whatever his name was, whoever the top player was on the team. He and his dad's relationship and how that dad like played basketball growing up, but something happened. We don't know what happened where he screwed up and now is working on the docks. That isn't talked about much. It's just like, I don't want him to do what I did. What did you do?
Right.
So again, there was so much that was left out, and I feel like in most movies like this, where again you can still have everyone can have their own storyline, like a Coach Carter I use, which obviously it's hard to compare to a movie that
way better
like.
Than this.
Definitely to one of the best sports movies. I'm not a huge sports movie fan either.
That's one of the best sports movies, you think?
It's revered as one of the best sports movies. I personally don't like sports movies.
At all.
Throw it there. In generally speaking, not all of them.
Why?
Generally speaking, I can't stand watching actors play basketball poorly.
Okay.
So I hate
That's
that.
fair.
They did a good job in this one. Like, everyone didn't look like. I didn't look at everyone and go, they did okay. I mean, come on. Lily, we can't all drop 56
all right, just relax.
on a regular Tuesday. So, but no, I feel like everyone I looked at was like, okay, these kids have shot a basketball prior to this movie.
Right.
Whereas like a lot of movies, like I'm looking like, okay, you have not ever picked up a basketball before ever. Like, they're shooting the ball.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like Sean Marion or something. So anyway,
oh my God.
like I felt like that from that standpoint, they did well here. But Coach Carter, like I use that example as like each player had its own like side story. Like one person's dealing with like being a new father, one person's dealing with like the balance between like going into a gang or not, and then like you have like Coach Carter's own like personal deal that he's dealing with, and they developed it. Yeah. And it wasn't that the movie was like 3 hours long and it took like it's just like they did a better job of writing. And in this one, like I just kind of felt like they like touched on like
lots of holes, and
it just was like, why are you leaving so much up to interpretation? It's okay to leave some stuff up to interpretation, sure, but like everything, like I'm just.
Well, and the way they spaced it out.
Yeah.
Like, I can respect the technique, like what they're trying to do in letting us kind of idealize like who this person is so that we feel, okay, this is the part that I can relate to might be different from what you can. And so we might get different things out of the movie, and that's kind of artistic. But they didn't do that right. And also the way they spaced out like his trauma. Because they start out with like, okay, this guy is like really tormented by traumas and he's having a hard time and he's drinking a lot of alcohol. Like they really harped on that, and they weren't really showing us why. And they had his kind of like terrible relationship, I guess, with his dad then the
Right.
fact that his dad passed away,
Right.
and then the fact that his son passed away.
Right.
But like each one of those stood alone for so long that I thought like, oh, this is the only thing. Like,
Right.
this is his trigger. And then it's like, oh wait, also this.
Yeah.
But it didn't like connect any of them. It was weird.
Yeah, it definitely was weird. That's a good way to put it. When I was looking at, not that these things correlate, but I was looking at like his
Perfect transition.
none of these things correlate with him, but when I was seeing like how much he was dealing with on a personal level, I was like, I mean, it's championship or bust with this basketball team. Like, we need something good. We need something good to happen. So I was like, I mean, if you don't get a championship, then like nothing's going well. So,
okay.
So he needed a championship. They didn't get that, but he did get close enough. Like, figuratively.
Well, we don't know, right?
Yeah, they got to
we
the
didn't
playoffs.
even see Tip.
Yeah, no, we didn't even
they
see
made
Tip.
first round, so maybe.
That's it. You know, the first time they made playoffs since he was there. So, that's championship.
That's also like a hard thing when like you go to a high school or like whatever and your teams are good and they've been good historically, and then you leave and like they're not competitive anymore. Not necessarily because you left, but like in the years.
Did that happen with you?
Well, I think they were pretty good for like a couple years after, but like before my sister and I even got there, they were competitive.
Okay.
And so we were like excited to go to high school at Seminole High. And then I don't know what happened. When we were in college, they just kind of like plummeted. Yeah. And now, like, I don't even think they're in the same division that they used to be in. I feel like they've moved down a couple, and it's just like.
So are you gonna go back? Are you gonna coach?
No. I'm not gonna coach.
No, not a chance.
Give me like a decade to like develop alcohol addiction.
Yeah, right. Yeah. First, yeah. Go back with some life experience.
Yeah, exactly.
He was like clearly the screw up sibling too. Like already, it kind of seemed like he was like the.
He had a sister. I forgot that. Until when you said sibling, I was like, what?
I just remember because the sister was they only showed her like 2 times, or 3 times. I remember her because I recognize her as an actress. She's always playing the role of like the stick in the mud kind of. And in this movie, like she wasn't necessarily the stick in the mud. She's just the sister that was cared about him. But she is always kind of like the more responsible like sibling. Which sibling are you between the two? Not to say that one has to be a screw up. But
well,
like,
Daisy's not here to defend herself.
Yeah, she can't. Oh, I mean, I didn't think she needed defending. Are you
That's what you just said.
No, I said which one would you?
I feel like we just said that at the same time.
I don't know.
I think we did.
Which one would you be between the siblings?
I think I'm the responsible one, but she might disagree. What? She would probably say I'm the boring one. Okay. So the same thing, responsible and boring. You know what I mean? So she would say the same thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Was she like the crazy sister, or you were just more responsible?
She's not crazy, but she had more fun, I think. Well, no, I had fun, but she would like go out more and do like things that I might think, oh my God, that's so reckless. Like, I can't believe you're doing that. Please don't do that. You know, she's like, what? Everyone does this. It's fine.
Gotcha.
And she's not wrong, but like, I just get stressed.
Fair enough. Fair. Yeah, no, I was curious because I thought about that. Obviously, with him being like that sibling that clearly like she has to take care of. And then this always makes me think about, again, do you only have one? It's
just the two of us.
And I only have one sibling.
And she's not like him. You know, it's not.
No,
I'm not like
I'm
taking
not
care of her all the time.
No, not at all. Obviously, I mean,
Days, you're doing great.
Yeah, right. They're definitely not bashing you. No, but naturally, whenever I see sibling dynamics, I think about my own sibling dynamic. I have one, especially where it's 2, because I have one younger sister, so very similar.
So which sibling are you?
It's funny because it's like I talked a little bit about her on the episode with Kayla. You listened to the episode, right?
I did.
She's a lot nicer than I am.
Oh
I am probably the more like I'm very practical. Like I think through every single thing.
Okay.
But she's more studious, so it's weird. Like I'm very practical. I'm very organized. Like this is to be like this is to be like that. Like kind of and about certain things.
Right.
But I'm very lackadaisical about a lot of other things. Like I'm very laid back in certain things.
Okay.
And she is very much like a perfectionist to a degree when it comes to school. Like she's very much in that, and like even in like her career now, like she's very good at like what she does. But in terms of like when we had to like share a bathroom or something, like she's super messy and like super unorganized. So like that would drive me insane.
Yeah.
And neither one of us were like crazy like adventurous or do anything like wild. I don't know. Like it's funny. Like it's the duality there is odd. Like
How far apart are you guys?
what are we exactly? 20 months exactly?
Oh
yeah,
my
younger
gosh,
than-
that's really close.
Very
right?
close, yeah. So she's a little bit younger than me.
20 months. Okay.
But yeah.
That was a really weird way to say it because
My mom always was
unless
like
you're,
that. That's why I always, yeah.
unless
Year
you have
and
a
a half,
child,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
how people describe their toddlers.
I know.
You
It's just like a weird, because I'm like, she's like a year and a half, but yeah.
I'm thinking like that's less than a year, but
Yeah,
like,
right.
it's almost 2.
Yeah. All right, we gotta get the math together. What's going on?
Well, I mean, who talks like that?
Yeah, right.
You're saying months. I'm like, oh, so it can't be a year.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just very like, I'm trying to think. Like, I mean, even in like college, like I don't drink, and my sister does drink, but like my sister didn't go out at all. Like she never. I think she went to like one of our college bars one time, and like she didn't really go out much. Like she'd be like she'd go to the library, she'd study, she kind of stayed with like the same group of friends. I would go out all the time and go to the bars all the time and meet a ton of people. Didn't drink, but like loved to go out dance. So it's very, you see what I mean? Like it's very odd, like how we like.
Do you feel like when people see you guys together, they assume you're like the same?
No, honestly, we have very different groups of friends, and just we're very close. We've always been really close, but just completely different types of. Like the older we get, the more different we get in terms of personality. So because of that, like there's times where like I have friends that like haven't met my sister for a long, especially if they didn't go to college with me. Because we were at college at the same time or didn't go to high school with me.
Did you go to the same college?
We did. She lived in the same dorm as me one year, one same building as me. But like even when we lived in the same building, like totally different experience. Like I knew like all these people that like I would see her like once a week maybe sometimes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean it's
crazy.
bigger, obviously, a very big dorm that we're in, but
that's nuts.
But yeah, so just very, very different. But what I mean is like, she'll have friends that like, oh, you have a brother, and like I have friends, oh, you have a sister. Like not because I don't like talk about it, but like just because we're just so we have our own.
Her enough,
no,
clearly.
I do claim her. I do claim
do better.
Get out of here.
This is the perfect opportunity for you to apologize.
Yeah, to get
in front of everyone.
No, everyone knows I have a sister, and I do claim her, obviously.
Okay. That's good.
Oh my goodness. Where were we? How did we get off? Oh, because we were talking about screw up sibling. I'm sitting here like I'm like looking at my notes and looking at alcohol addiction. I'm like, how did we get on talking about my sister? What does that have to do with anything? It does take a lot of patience though. Like again, if you have a sibling that's extreme as Ben Affleck is in the movie, to continue to like try to help them when they don't want to help themselves. So I think about that sometimes with friends, with friends and family. I haven't had any situations like this, but in situations where like I'm trying to think of something way on a much smaller and less important scale. Let's say you have like a friend who is like in a bad relationship. You know, whatever. Like we've all seen that friend where it's like they keep going back to the guy who doesn't deserve them or girl that doesn't deserve them and things like that. And you're like, I can't care about the situation more than you care about it, but like it's still like you still want to help them because you love them, you care about them. But,
that's tough.
So similar to again, not exactly, but kind of similar to this, where it's like, I have more respect seemingly for you than you have for yourself. Which is tough.
That's it. That's an interesting perspective to take.
Yeah,
good framing there. Very self-focused.
It is. It is. But
you just have to give people time to figure things out.
Yeah.
Not that that's easy.
Yeah. People are stupid sometimes.
Okay. Todd's got some work to do.
Yeah, I do. I can lack patience sometimes.
Oh, that's good to know about yourself.
I can, and sometimes I can lack empathy. I'm not saying I'm unempathetic, but sometimes I've been told that I can sometimes lack empathy.
Okay.
My mom has told me that before, so
I
need to get better at that.
Okay.
I'm working on it.
Everyone stay on him.
Yeah, I'm working on it, Lily. I'm working on it. The ex-wife.
That was weird.
That was a weird relationship thing going on. She I feel bad for her having to balance losing a child and then also your husband being an alcoholic.
Yeah. I wonder if that started after or if that was something, you know what I mean? Like this is one of the kind of holes that I wish they developed a little more.
Yeah. They talked about it a bit.
They said that like she pulled him out of drugs and alcohol initially, so maybe it wasn't.
Like, was he clean during the entirety of his son's life and then, like, fell back into it? Or, like, was he always struggling with it but just not as much? Like, again, this felt like a pilot to a show where we're going to learn way more about everyone. And it's like, nope.
For sure.
That's all we're getting, so.
But it is interesting to think about, like, when a trauma like that happens, how differently people experience it.
Yeah.
Because, like, for both of them, they both lost a son, but it's not the same experience.
Yeah.
So.
It's very, very difficult. I'm sure for both of them, but yeah, how they dealt with it. And obviously, like, there's a point where he gets like mad, like basically accusing her of not feeling it the same way he feels it.
Wait, what?
You remember when they're in the car and he's like,
Well,
you got a new job. Yeah, it's like,
oh my god.
Yeah, he just like go. And it's like, all right, bro, like, come on,
Yeah.
that's a low blow. Like, don't do that. But
Right,
obviously, he needed help.
Yeah.
He definitely needed help. But yeah, that point
That's
was
tough.
like, yeah, like you can't do that. His coaching.
Oh my god.
It was some funny parts up in there. I don't know why he took the coaching job. So that was like, again, where it was like, he was like, I'm not gonna take it. And then he shows up to practice. And I'm like, is he just trying to get, I don't know. I didn't know why he took it. Yeah, I didn't get that point.
How did you feel about him as a coach?
No. You're not gonna talk to me. Like, here's the thing. I have a low tolerance for like stupidity. And I have a zero.
Stupidity.
Yeah, stupid. He wasn't necessarily stupid. This is a situation where I have a zero tolerance for disrespect. So like, just cannot like, and I don't disrespect anyone either. So like, it's not like you can't disrespect me, but I can disrespect you type of deal. I mean, I might talk about people like, you know, in the comfort of my own podcast, you know, in your home, in the comfort of Lily's home.
Not publicly at all.
No. But yeah, no, I wouldn't disrespect someone in the workplace or coaching or on a team. So I expect that in return.
How did you feel he disrespected you? You're saying he disrespected his players?
Yeah, I mean, when he cussed them out like every single game.
That's like such a normal, like almost every coach does that.
Almost
unless they have a thing against cussing.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, I use my father for example. I've never heard my father cuss ever a day in my life.
Wow.
Doesn't cuss on the field. He'll project his voice obviously because you're on a football field, you have to yell.
Yeah.
Doesn't yell at his players, like, and has had a successful career. So like, as that is like my role model, my biggest role model obviously is my father, like, I don't feel like that's necessary to get the point across.
For sure.
Now, there's a ton of successful coaches, like, I've seen them, who will just, I mean, I'm not going to say the coach that I know who I said, but I know some Hall of Fame coaches.
I'm sure you're not putting them out. I'm sure everyone knows.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a surprise. But, like, I mean, we'll say stuff that's, like, I mean, again, you play sports, like, you know, like, so coaches just say, like, we'll just say stuff, they're like, oh, wow, like, you'd be canceled, like, now, you know, if someone heard you say that, for, like, you release tapes of your practice, but yeah, so I just don't think that it's necessary to get your points across, and I don't think it's necessary for success, is my point. So yeah, and I don't think there's any scenario where a high school coach at this Catholic school, again, if it's already in the laws where you're not supposed to should be cussing out these sophomore, juniors, and like, I don't think that's necessary. Like, I don't think that's.
Well, I also feel like you have to earn that right. Not that it's a right, and not that it is right to do.
Right.
But I think that people will respond differently if you've been there with them doing the work, and if you're like embodying what you're demanding.
Right.
You know what I mean? I feel like he just shows up and all of a sudden, like, I think it's very unrealistic that they're going to feel motivated by this and feel like they want to make him proud.
Right, exactly.
It's very...
You can't just show up to me like, you for sure can't just show up day one going crazy. Yeah. Like, no, there's no way. I'll be like, I'm out.
At the same time, I do think a couple of those players, like, needed to be put in their place.
Some of them, I mean, yeah. They
come on.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't
Not that that's the way to do it, but, like, there needs to be something.
Oh, yeah, there needs to be something done. And I do hate, you know what, no. I'm not,
you gotta go.
No.
I mean, you can't hold out on us like this.
I mean, when someone's scrubby, that's gonna piss me off too. Like,
when someone's scrubby?
It's a scrub, yeah. So, so, I mean, yeah, some of those guys, especially when you're a scrub and you don't know you're a scrub. Like,
like the guy that's just, like, jacking up
threes, like
what? And this
his percentage is like 20-something. Yo, no, like, you're not, like, yo, if I pass you the ball and that's what you do, we're fighting. Yeah, after the game. So, yeah, so I totally
and
get
he didn't believe, like, he believed he was the GOAT.
He did.
He was
really
like,
did.
Every time going in.
Yeah.
It never goes in.
Never went in. Like, that was insane. That was insane. Yeah. So, like, guys like that, it's like, I could see in one of the notes I had was like, I wouldn't have the patience to coach high school. I don't know if I could coach certain levels, or even like
they have to be good before they come to Todd. Not
necessarily. You know, I think I'm a decent Orange Theory coach.
I'll try to maintain. Not gonna correct.
I maintain. I think I could do it. I'm getting better. I'm getting better with patience.
Are you
Orange Theory has helped
on
me.
that?
Orange Theory has helped me. Yeah, I become way more empathetic at Orange Theory.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So.
Gross.
Yeah, it's getting. Yeah, again, just working on myself. That's all. But yeah, it would be very tough coaching them. The dancing before the games.
Oh my gosh.
I would be pissed.
It's embarrassing.
I would be pissed.
Like, do it in the locker room. I get it. We do it. We do these things. Like, we do weird stuff.
For sure.
And it's like a team bonding thing.
Yeah.
But like, whoa.
And it's always the player that's like on the bench. Like the guy who does dancing.
But
like,
you need those guys. You need the hype men.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You need it. But that's why people like you shouldn't see it. It's gotta be in the locker room.
You gotta be in the locker room. Like I can't see the scrub dancing on the court before the game, and we get blown out every game.
The poor guy.
Like, come on. And then, like, as soon as they won that game, he started dancing again. I lost it.
Yeah,
and it's like in slow motion.
I didn't like it.
I
but in the locker room, phenomenal.
Yeah.
All
Dude,
day,
you know what?
that.
Do your thing. Were you the dancer in the locker room?
I was not the dancer.
No? Who was the
Definitely
dancer?
not. Someone else.
Someone else. Do you remember their name?
Stop. I'm not gonna out anyone on the pod, okay?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that frustrated me. Also, on the other end, the coach who was the jerk, who was on the other team that like became like the rival team, he sucked. It reminded me that so high school coaches, I think, are the cockiest group of individuals on the entire planet.
High school coaches. Hot take.
Yeah.
Why?
Hot take. And honestly, the younger you get, so Pee Wee coaches too. So one of the jobs I work for, I know we were going through like my whole like resume before this.
Yeah, we were.
I work for a company called Zenith, and they make and manufacture football helmets and equipment. Actually, the company I was working for when I first started the podcast.
Okay.
Anyway, I would travel like 35% of the time, go around the country to all these different like football camps, different like NFL players camps, and coaches clinics, and the American football coaches clinic in Texas, and the Texas coaches clinic. All
Texas football.
So
well, you can't,
Florida,
you
all this.
can't apply Texas football.
Texas is a religion down there. It's literally a religion. So anyway, going down to Texas, I went down to Texas 3 times for different things, or multiple. Actually, not 3 times. I went down there all the time.
Okay.
It's for different stuff and coaches. These coaches, man, like the cockiest dudes would be like over like a 4th grade like Pee Wee team. Cockiest dude.
But they
ever.
never lose.
But they never. He's like, oh, we've been undefeated. You coach 4th grade. You don't. That's not like okay, cool. We haven't lost in the county in the last 4 years. Like, congrats, bro. Like,
but we need like those 4th graders. Their experience is so much better because he cares so much. Can you imagine if you were their coach and you're like, I don't care about this. You guys are just in 4th grade.
No, we gotta win. We gotta win.
Come on.
We gotta win. Okay, so here's the thing: is like
They
you can care
that.
about it, you can be passionate about it, and be like pumped up for them. Like in the moment, you care about it, but also like you can't be to the point where it's like. I come say what's up to you, and you feel like you don't have to talk to me because it's like, who is this kid? Like, you know what I mean? Like, time out. Like, don't get cocky.
Big time
you can
by
be
the
it.
4th grade coach.
I'm getting big time by 4th grade coach, and I'm like,
And
he's
you're
like,
not
you
upset.
don't know anything about this. I don't know anything
You're
about
not
this.
still
Like,
upset at all.
I'm hot. I'm so I get so hot. So like, again, just the disrespect. Like, again, you don't have to like bow down to me, but if I come up and say, hey, good morning, man, how you doing? Like.
Respond.
Just respond. Exactly. I'm not asking for much. I'm not asking for much, Lily.
You're not. You're right. I apologize on his behalf.
Thank you. The wound is still open. So yeah, they are the cockiest group of people. Again, Texas is a different level.
I think
obviously.
Club sports too, like AAU.
Yo, exactly.
Oh my god, it's just like
it's
such
nuts.
another level.
And don't let an AAU coach get like one kid who gets like a big offer, not because of that coach, but just because like he just happens to be playing on his AAU team that summer.
But sometimes
sometimes it is.
AAU coaches, I think, don't get enough love. They can shape like somebody's life. They really can. Not all of them do, but they can. Like I had a great club coach, and I love him.
Okay, all right. Well, some
he's
can.
not like he doesn't have a big head, but he has coached like a ton of phenomenal athletes who have gone to like far better places than me. You know, not flops in college.
Yeah,
like
no. You didn't flop. You got hurt.
They're still playing.
You got hurt. It's all good. And you might make a comeback. We'll talk about that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it's not too late. So not an indictment on all high school coaches, not an indictment on all AAU coaches.
Yeah, some of them are great.
Some of them are great. I ran track. I stopped playing basketball after 8th grade, but ran track, and my best coach running track was an AAU coach who just literally, for not even for any money, like literally just wanted to help out. Great dude. And really appreciate him just like going out there and like even if we didn't have practice, like going out and just like working on me with stuff. So
this is very good. Look at this growth.
So shout out to A.
Look at that positivity.
Yeah, but I like bashing more.
I can tell.
It's more fun that way.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, some of these coaches are just like very obnoxious and annoying. Some are great, some are
You
amazing.
had to get that out. Had to say it again.
I had to say it again. But some are amazing. I will say that if I was a coach, you should have seen me in IM in college. Oh man.
Got after it?
I coached like 17 different teams. We'll talk about that after.
You were an IM coach?
I was a coach, I was a player, I was a manager. I coached a women's team. We were called Todd Squad. I'll talk to you about it after.
Oh my god.
I didn't come up with the names,
Todd
by the way.
Squad.
Yeah. You could have been on. You could have been on the team.
Well, I didn't make the cut, unfortunately.
You might have. I
I
don't
wasn't
know.
even invited to try out.
I know, right?
It's like really offensive.
We'll get it going at UCSD.
We'll see.
I have to go to like grad school there just so that like we can actually do it. It's not just like me creepily like.
Well, we'll go to grad school together.
Yeah. Now we're talking.
There it is.
I would 100% be the coach though if my team was like if my team matters, they're like pretty good. That would bribe the refs. Like I was watching him like argue.
Okay.
I totally
Not
bribe the
ethically
refs.
intact. Got it.
No.
Todd, disrespect competition.
I respect winning.
That's
you know,
cheating. It's Todd's all for a good cheat.
Cheaters win and winners cheat.
Oh my god, no. Cheaters
No.
never prosper.
That's
Never.
not always true.
You'll get got eventually, you will.
I do believe that. I definitely believe that cheaters definitely it catches up.
It's on its way.
But yeah, no, if I was a coach, I would think about
You'd
it.
be cheating.
Maybe just
because you can't handle the like responsibility of the actual development, right? So you're all about maintenance and cheating.
Lily, I don't appreciate you're supposed to just agree with me. That's what the podcast is. You just agree with everything I say.
You didn't really prep me, and if you would have told me, I would have let you know.
No. That you get beyond.
It's not gonna happen.
Gosh, where's Daisy when you need her? Have you ever gotten in an argument with your coach?
Of course.
Yes?
Yeah, but I don't want to call myself obedient, but I am very like respectful. I was respectful of coaches that I had. Like I respected their authority. So a lot of times I wouldn't like, if they're like yelling at me and saying something I don't agree with, I'll be thinking about it in my head, but I'm not gonna like disrespect them back. But there have been times where I have been frustrated and lacked some self-control for sure. Yeah.
Wow, that's something you need to work on.
It's not often.
Man.
I'm holding myself accountable already, so you can't make me feel bad.
I was just saying, it's something to think about.
Okay.
I was telling that before asking you to be on the podcast.
Oh my god. Todd's a judger.
The humor, there was some humor in this. So even though it was a pretty dark movie, one was Kenny, the white kid who had the do-rag. Like him like dating like all the 3 cheerleaders.
Yeah, how did you feel about that scene? Is this what you were about to ask? And I'm like taking over. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't ask anything. I was just
the scene where like he's running, right?
Yeah.
And it's the coach is like allowing all of his girlfriends to dictate like how much he has to run.
That was funny.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that
hilarious.
scene. Looking at now, obviously much younger now, but if you were in high school, would you have been one of Kenny's girls? Do you think?
Definitely not.
Yes. Oh no. Okay.
Oh my god.
You start with definitely.
What
so I
do
didn't
you
know.
think of me?
You said definitely, and I was like, oh yeah.
Ridiculous.
So.
I require a lot more attention
Dwight.
than I think he could. You're right. Yes, and also Dwight's shoulders.
Yeah.
Are required.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then, that's what I was about to say, the dancing. That's what I wrote down. Yeah, but we talked about the dancing the dancing again. Oh my goodness.
You really hated that.
It was funny
multiple
though.
Notes
I hated
about the dancing.
I had multiple notes. I hated it, but I thought it was funny though. I did laugh.
Yeah.
Like I said, but final thoughts though, I do appreciate that everyone looked like they had played basketball prior to this movie.
I don't know if I would go as far to say everyone, but that's good.
Again, not everyone is on your level.
Okay.
Lily. Some people just casually play at the Y.
Yeah, but that's not what this movie was about.
Yeah, it's about competition.
Yeah.
I also like that it wasn't like a happy ever ending, happy ever after ending.
Mm-hmm.
I do like happy endings, but
I hated the ending though.
It wasn't unrealistic.
No resolution.
No, it wasn't any resolution. I mean, we didn't even see how the game ended.
1% resolved.
He got help.
It was just like, oh, there's a mess happening here in a lot of ways, and it's still messy.
He's in therapy though,
That's good. I mean, that is
It's
good.
a good start, yeah.
Right? But, like, that's not
It's a good start,
an
yeah.
end.
It's not. It's I guess it's not an end. I mean, we'd like to see him ideally like get the help, come out, see how he's changed his life, win the championship. That's typically what happens. We did not get that here. This is one of many plot holes. I like that the chaplain. I like when the chaplain mentioned how you don't realize sometimes the impact you have on the youth, like in the kids. 'Cause I think that's so true. Like you just don't. And didn't need this movie obviously to like tell me that, but yeah, no, I think it is very true. Like, and we even saw like at the end there where like the one kid who was like super quiet but clearly the best player like stepped up in his role, and definitely because of the impact that he had on him. And just
I feel
telling
like
him
that
to be
was
a more
like
vocal leader.
that gave him too much credit though. Like I'm not convinced that if that was their relationship trajectory in real life that he would have had that impact. You know, I feel like he didn't do enough.
No,
you know?
he just like took him home.
But yeah, that was a good illustration of the potential for that outcome.
Yes. So I did like that. Chaplin mentioned that and kind of like the illustration.
Yeah, for sure.
Not sure why this movie was made. So after saying the nice things, I'm not 100% sure why it was made. Like I said, it felt like an episode of a show.
Yeah.
Just didn't get the full thing. A lot of things it didn't touch on. Again, like we said, the relationship with the father. The one kid, the star player, his father's past, and his child's life, you know, before he passed away. Ben Affleck's son and everything like that. Yeah, we just didn't get a lot there. So wish we would have got more of that, but I'm not begging them to make a sequel by any means.
Oh my god. Sounds like you want a series.
Yeah, right? So let me know when the series comes out. We can binge watch that and then review that. What would you rank this on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh wow. I'm bad at ranking things like this.
Okay.
So that's hard. You should have prepped me for this.
Yeah, I give you a 3.
I'm malfunctioning
from 1
right
to scale
now.
1 to 10 for your ranking skills.
No, I think that it would probably be like a 2. It's
That is
not
low.
good.
I gave it a 6.1.
What?
Yeah, I gave it a 6.1.
Above average?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It was bad. It was bad. I'm sorry. It wasn't horrible. I didn't think it was horrible.
I think
it
it
had
was pretty
potential.
bad.
It was a lot of plot holes, but I saw where they were going with it. Again, I will not watch it again. I would suggest for anyone who is thinking about watching it, definitely put it at the bottom of the watch list. But yeah, it wasn't something that I was like complete trash. They missed the mark though.
6 what?
6.1.
That's very specific to do like a decimal.
I had to give decimals. Yeah, it's too many
You
movies.
always give a decimal?
Yeah, so, I mean sometimes it's just
What
6.
is your, like, how do you decide 6?
It honestly is funny. It all started with whatever that first movie is. It just kind of like bases off of that. Then like now, because I have to be consistent with my own personal.
Did you have like criteria?
Just kind of how I'm feeling at the end.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
2. I stand
There's
by
no
it.
rubric.
It's a 2.
So 2, 6.1. Any suggestions for movies or shows to check out while we're in quarantine? Anything that you've seen recently that?
Well, if you guys haven't watched All American, my sister is watching it right now. I'm up to date, obviously.
Wait, what's that
but
kid's name in that movie?
highly recommend
Oh
Spencer.
no.
It's a show.
I mean not movie. I said I just seen movie.
But actually, one of the actors from the school that was like really good,
Yeah.
the like star player, number 21, he's in All American.
Is All American? Is he? Is All American the one where who's in that? Who is in that?
Oh
All
my
American?
God.
What is the actor's name? This is gonna kill me. I can't remember. But anyways, it's the one where like he gets basically starts living with like the coach.
Yeah.
It is that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show's trash.
What?
I would suggest
Have you seen
watching. Yeah, I have never. And I've seen a couple episodes.
That's really harsh. And you just gave this a 6. So I feel like you're full of it. You don't know what you're talking about.
And,
All American's great. Definitely watch.
If you don't have anything else to do, then yeah, I would definitely say give it a shot. Never Have I Ever is my suggestion. Also on Netflix, really good show. Mindy Kaling wrote it. Cast is amazing, and I cannot wait for season 2. So
What's it about?
it's like a teen coming of age movie. Yeah, so it's a good movie or good show. Sorry, I said
Like
movie.
would you
Show.
say 6 or
It's a 10 out of 10.
10?
Yeah, it's a really good show.
Okay,
Really
so
good
it's
show.
about a 5.
Yeah,
Just
hater.
on a normal scale.
Wow. So if I do release this episode, I don't know if I'm gonna release it, but
I think it's gonna be a hit.
well, we'll see. We will see. Thank you all for listening. Appreciate it. Anything else that you'd like to add? I appreciate you hosting the charcuterie board, being
You're
on the
welcome.
show. Yeah.
You ate like nothing, so it's,
I
I feel
ate-
like it doesn't count.
I ate some, but obviously like we're recording. But
Right.
no, anything else you'd like to add for the listeners?
No, thank you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you all. Appreciate you for coming on. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you next time. Peace.